Welcome back. So this is the last session for today, and just before Gedin Sitargela introduced you to some literary devices, so I'm going to continue with that. So, but this particular session is, you can say, targeted or aimed for grade 7 and 8 students, but it is applicable to senior students as well. Okay. Since Gela had already introduced you what literary devices mean, so it would be like a kind of a repetition, but then I have to do that, and then I hope that it will be, you can say, more beneficial when you hear what actually a literary device is, okay, from both of us, right, Gedin Sargila as well as me. But the kind of literary devices or poetic devices that we would be discussing is little different, okay, because we have so many tools, so many devices. So Gela would be touching on some devices and I would be on some other devices. So our common goal is to help you understand what are the different poetic devices, okay, because right now we are talking about poetry, okay. So let's look at the slide. So poetic diction and devices. So the target class is 7 and 8. Okay, so before we learn about poetic devices, we need to understand what poetic diction is. Okay. So the linguistic style, the vocabulary or word choice, and the metaphors used in the writing of poetry, which sets it apart from other forms of writing. Okay. So see, poetic diction, so what you need to understand, okay, if you just look at the word dictionary, okay, dictionary, diction, you will kind of find out, okay, there's a sort of similarity, okay, there's a kind of relation, okay, poetic diction, dictionary, okay, the vocabulary, okay, if you look at the definition here, you will find vocabulary, word choice, okay. So these are the, you can say, what kind of words are chosen by the poets in order to write a particular piece of poetry. What are the specific vocabularies that the poets choose, okay, and how they structure it, how they arrange it, okay, and that makes the writing, what sort of writing, the poetry writing, different from other parts, other forms. So we learned about prose, drama, see, and how poetry is different from a piece of prose and a piece of writing, because the style is different, the linguistic style is different, the diction is different, okay, how the words are arranged, what sort of words are chosen. So it all sets it apart, okay, from other forms of writing. The style of writing, including word choice and syntax, okay, the grammatical arrangement of words in the sentence, right. So I remember when I was taking the session on the major differences between poetry, prose and drama, I told you that poets have some sort of liberty, okay, they can play with the words, they can arrange the words in an order that suits their purpose in a way, okay. So if you remember when we discussed about the poem Ant and the Cricket, okay, that was the fable, right, which narrates a kind of a story about the characters or animal and then the ant and the cricket. So a kind of message is also conveyed. So a particular stanza, like if I remember, I just told you that this is how poets can, in a way, take the liberty to arrange the words so that it serves their purpose. In order to make it rhyme, they keep one word, if written in a context of prose, might be different. Okay, so the syntax, word choice, these all decide poetic diction. Okay, so in simple word, you can just think, okay, word choice, okay, and then syntax, how it is arranged, okay, the style of writing including word choice and syntax, that's the arrangement of word, how you are arranging the word or how you are arranging words in a sentence, okay, that is diction, okay. So what is the purpose? To create and convey mood. Okay, poetic diction creates and convey. So I'm sorry, there's a space after mood. Okay, between mood and comma. That space should not be there. Okay. So create and convey mood, tone and atmosphere. So in order to create the atmosphere, okay, in order to convey the tone and mood of the poet, so poetic diction, okay, is used. How the words are arranged, what sort of, see, you can say your emotions, your feelings, what sort of mood, what sort of attitude you want to show. So you have to choose word according to that. Okay. If you choose wrong words, you may not be able to convey what you want to convey, right? You won't be able to convey the appropriate message, isn't it? So you have to be very careful about what sort of word to choose when you are writing poetry. Okay, because see, there can be so many words for one particular thing. You have synonyms, isn't it? There can be so many words for one particular thing. But then when you write a piece of poetry, you can decide, okay, this word suits my purpose. This word conveys what I want to convey, my message. It makes my message stronger. So I'm going to choose this word. Isn't it? It happens, right? Like amongst words, you can just find, okay, all the words may mean the same, but then, okay, this one serves my purpose. This one rhymes with the other word. Okay, so this is how you decide. You choose the word. Okay, if I arrange the sentence, arrange the word in this way in order to make a sentence, it's if you want to write a rhymed poem. Okay, it's not rhyming. So how can I arrange it so that this rhyme? So poets do that. Okay, so look at the purpose. To create and convey mood, tone and atmosphere, to convey the appropriate message, I told you. Okay, so if you fail to choose the right word, you won't be able to convey the message appropriately, okay, in the manner you want it to. Okay, so choice of word becomes very important. Okay, and then comes your tools. Okay, Giddens Thargela already gave you a very beautiful example of the tools used by a carpenter, tools used by a barber. Okay, isn't it? So in the same way, poets also have tools. They use the tools in order to create. Okay, because poetry is a creative writing, isn't it? Poets, in order to create a piece of poetry, they have to choose the tools. Okay, and these tools are called devices. So literary devices you can call, or figure of speech you can call, but when these devices are used to create a poem or a piece of poetry, then it is called poetic devices. Okay, so let's look at poetic devices are a form of literary device used in poetry. Okay, so poetic device, literary device, almost same, but only thing you need to remember is poetic devices are the literary devices used in poetry. Okay, are tools that poets use to create rhythm or enhance a poem's meaning. Okay, they are like the tools that the poets use to create rhythm, okay, and enhance a poem's meaning. So I hope you will not get confused between poetic devices and literary devices or figure of speech. Okay, you can just think in terms of like literary devices is the broader picture, you can say, okay, and poetic devices being part of it. If you can say not all literary devices may be called poetic devices. The literary devices, if not used in a poetry, we won't call it poetic devices. We will just call it literary device or figure of speech, right? But when it is used in poetry, we call it poetic devices. I hope that makes sense. Okay. Purpose. Now, what is the purpose behind using poetic devices? Okay, so it is a sort of you can say repetition with what Giddens Thargela already did, and this would in a way help you get the idea more clear, right? You will hear, because the more you hear, okay, your understanding about that thing becomes stronger, okay. And like Gela already told you, for poetry reading, okay, you need to read at least, right, 3 times before you stop, right? So for writing of poetry, for poetry writing also, what you need to remember is the more you write different types of poetry, okay, this one particular genre of literature, right, when you read different types of poetry pieces, you get an understanding, okay, and it helps, or you can say it in a way helps you build your skill of writing poetry. Okay, so you need to you can say spend some time, read poetry pieces written by famous poets, okay, and then you will get an idea, oh, this is also a way of writing, okay. So in a way you can just try on your own doing that, and then you will find it's not very difficult, okay. So the main thing is you need to appreciate the beauty of poetry. You need to develop a sense of you can say appreciation for this beauty that is poetry, okay. So the purpose to create rhythm, okay, to enhance or deepen a poem's meaning, to intensify mood and feelings. So rhythm we have already discussed, okay, last week, and today also Gideon Stargila in his session told you about how to create rhythm with stressed and unstressed syllables. So for that, poets use devices, poetic devices, okay, and the one purpose is also to enhance or deepen the meaning of the poem, okay, and intensify the mood and feelings. And in the beginning, I remember Regela's first session, he told you about the economy of word. So poetry is like, poetry conveys a deep meaning, but in very you can say few words, okay. Some poetry pieces can be long, right, narrative, lyric poetry, but then if you compare to prose and drama, you will find that poetry pieces are shorter, okay. Fine. Now we will look at some poetic devices. It's rhyme. So this is, you can say, the easiest one, or you can say the basic poetic device that you learned as a child, right, from grade 4, I hope, right? What is a rhyme? How to make a rhyme? Simile, metaphor. See, simile and metaphor both are poetic devices used for comparison. Then you have alliteration, personification, onomatopoeia. This is Gideon Stargila already told you what actually onomatopoeia is, okay. Imagery. So in writing types, when Gela was telling you about descriptive writing, he used a lot of, you can say, imagery, okay. So you were told about so many, you can say, ways in which poets or writers make use of this device, okay. Rhyme scheme is a particular pattern of rhyming words, okay. Repetition, there are still more, right. So I have just brought some of the poetic devices, okay. Since you are in grade 7 and 8, we assume that you have to, in a way, get an understanding about all these poetic devices, okay. But I'll begin with rhyme, simile and metaphor, okay. What rhyme is, what simile is, and what a metaphor is. So rhyme, as you are already aware of, right, it is a repetition of similar sounds in 2 or more words, okay. When words have same end sound, for example, or you can say the types, okay. So we have, okay, different types of rhyme, okay. So end rhyme. So end rhyme is when the end word of one line rhymes with the end word of the other line, okay. For example, you can see, my heart was so light. If you remember This is you can say a couplet I took from the ant and the cricket. Okay, you can say, and when the cricket goes to the ant asking for food and shelter, and he tells the ant that he didn't, you can say, store any food because he was just enjoying the weather, the nature, and then my heart was so light that I sang day and night, right? Light and night. So these are the rhyming words, isn't it? So my heart was so light. The end word is light, and this end word rhymes with the end word of the next line, that is, that I sang day and night. Light, night, they rhyme. Okay, so this sort of rhyme is called end rhyme. Okay, then you have a second type, internal rhyme. Okay, so the rhyming of two words within the same line of a poem. Okay, see, in end rhyme, the end word of one line rhymes with the end word of the other line, isn't it? But here in internal rhyme, the rhyming words, okay, maybe two or more, occur in the same line. Okay, rhyming of two words within the same line of a poem. For example, so this is you can say a couplet I took from my poem titled Life is Beautiful. So this is you can say Life is Beautiful is the title of my blog, okay, my blog page, and I have written a poem describing this, how life is beautiful. So I've just taken two lines from there just to help you understand internal rhyme. Life is full of happiness and sadness, along with smallness and greatness. So what do you find here? Happiness and sadness. See, both occur in the same line, isn't it? Internal rhyme. So here what you would find is you will see both internal rhyme as well as end rhyme. Okay, how? See, life is full of happiness and sadness, internal rhyme. Okay, along with smallness and greatness. Again, see, smallness and greatness rhyme, isn't it? And what do you find? The end word of the first line is sadness, and the end word of the second line is greatness. So sadness and greatness also rhyme. So this is an example of, you can say, a rhyming couplet, you can say, because this is two lines, isn't it? Two lines which rhyme we call rhyming couplet. So where we find both end rhymes as well as internal rhyme. I hope this is clear. Happiness, sadness. See, these rhyming words occur in the same line. Life is full of happiness and sadness. See, one line. In the same line, you find two rhyming words, isn't it? Happiness and sadness. So this is an example of internal rhyme. Along with smallness and greatness. Again, you find the two rhyming words in the same line. Okay, so here we find internal rhyme as well as end rhyme. Sadness, greatness. Okay, I think now it's clear. Next, we have half rhyme. Okay, so end rhyme, internal rhyme, half rhyme. Okay, so half rhyme is rhyme formed by words with similar but not identical sounds. Okay, they may look similar, but they are not having, or they don't produce identical sounds. So rhymes with either identical vowels and different consonants, or vice versa. Vice versa means rhymes with either identical consonants and different vowels. Okay, so vice versa means the other way around. Okay, so here rhymes with either identical vowels and different consonants, or you can say rhymes with either identical consonants and different vowels. Clear? It's called half rhyme. Okay, there's some other name given to half rhyme. Okay, we call it slant rhyme, imperfect rhyme, near rhyme. Okay, and this another word, right? Lazy rhyme as well. Okay, it is also known as imperfect rhyme, near rhyme, slant rhyme, etc. For example, let's take and made. Okay, see, take and made. So here what I have chosen is, see, the vowel sound. Eh. Okay, take, You can see the sound, okay, vowel sound, they are identical, isn't it? Take, made. But what do you find is the consonant sound, okay, do not rhyme. Okay, the consonant is not identical. Clear? It's different. Okay, take. See, the beginning consonants t and the ending k, right? And in the same way, and d, right? So, made, take. So, this is an example of half rhyme. So, what you need to remember is, see, okay, our devices, what we discussed here is rhyme, right? And we told about end rhyme, what else? Internal rhyme, and we have half rhyme. Okay, so these are the main three types of rhyme. Otherwise, you have I rhyme also, okay, which may look like they rhyme, but actually they are not, right, when they pronounce differently. So, end rhyme, if we just take an example, okay, what example did we take? My heart was so light, right? Light and night, right? And then internal rhyme, we take example of smallness and greatness. Okay, if we say, suppose if we smallness and greatness in the same line, right? And then half rhyme, so say suppose if we take this, take and made. So, what actually rhymes is not the whole word, okay. Take and made, they do not you can say form a perfect rhyme, okay, but imperfect rhyme, because only this, the vowel rhymes, not the consonant, okay. So, take and made, if we have to look at, see, sometimes what happens, why am I discussing this, okay. I was kind of thinking whether to discuss half rhyme or not, okay. When I was preparing this lesson, I was thinking about if I should discuss end rhyme and internal rhyme only with you, okay, and skip half rhyme. I thought it might confuse you, but then I felt, because even like when I write poetry, sometimes it happens when I want to write a rhymed poem, sometimes it becomes very difficult to get the perfect rhyme, okay, because if we look at you can say words to rhyme, though you can say the message that you want to convey, okay, what you want to convey, your purpose becomes vague in a way, the word you can say doesn't kind of convey what you want to, okay. So, sometimes we have to choose words that are not, you can say, a perfect rhyme, but half rhyme, okay. And this also sometimes create a variation, okay. Poets often do that, they make use of end rhyme, they make use of internal rhyme, and they make use of half rhyme, okay, or imperfect rhyme, or you can say slant rhyme as well. So, one reason might be to create a variation, and the other one is in order to, you can say, convey what you want to, okay, and when you don't find the perfect words that rhyme, so sometimes you can do that, okay. So, as a student, when your teacher tells you to write a stanza or maybe 2-3 stanza, okay, poem with 3 stanzas. So, if you want to try a rhymed poem, sometimes it becomes difficult to get the perfect. So, in the, you can say, in some parts you may opt to choose or make use of half rhyme, okay, if that in a way helps you convey your message in a better way, you can do that, okay. That's why I am discussing here. with you can say half rhyme. So this is an example where you can say the vowels rhyme. Okay, and then like okay, how we are going to now make use of this. Okay, let me just help you get an with a just 2 lines. Okay, we will make use of this. Okay, take and make. Not very poetic, but just simple example to help you understand. Okay, because my purpose is to have this word, okay, at the end. Okay, right now. Okay, half rhyme here. I'm going to make use of this as, and I'm using half rhyme, you can say, at the end of the line. Okay, I'm making keeping these 2 words at the end of a line. Okay, I'm going to take. Okay, see, the sentence is not complete. I'm going to take is not a complete sentence. I'm going to take what? Okay, but for a piece of poetry, this is not a sentence, but this is a line. I told you, see, this is line break. Okay, I can break it here depending on my purpose. Okay, I'm just telling you how. So I'm going to take. Okay, so if it's a prose piece, I told you earlier also, I need to complete the sentence, but since I am going to use this in a piece of poetry, I can break it here to form one line, but not a sentence. This is not a sentence. Okay, I am going to take, this is my line break and this is the end word, take. Okay, I am going to take what? Okay, I know that the final word has to be made, isn't it? Made. Okay, what should I write? I'm going to take made. Okay, something. Okay, so I'm going to have made here. I'm going to take. Okay. Okay, I'm going to take the dish my mother made. Okay, take made. Not a perfect rhyme, but this is half rhyme. Okay, I'm going to take the dish my mother made. So what happens is, sometimes see, when you break a line here, okay, see, this is now one sentence. If you look carefully, I'm going to take the dish my mother made. If it's written in a prose style, this is one complete sentence now, but in poetry I'm using this as 2 lines. Okay, so earlier, like, I was a little confused, because if we think about grammar rules, you will definitely not capitalize the initial letter T here, because you know that this is not the beginning of a sentence. Okay, but I have in a way just tried to find out earlier also when I used to write poem, so whether to keep it capital or not, and there I found that poets often, because I'm going to take this one part of the, you can say, poetry, right, one line of a stanza, and then you are going to discuss another line, so you can start with the capital letter. Okay, I'm going to take the dish my mother made. Okay, if this is to be written in the piece of poetry, you cannot capitalize this because there's no period, there's no full stop after take. Okay, but since you are writing this in a piece of poetry, you have the liberty to capitalize this letter T. Right? Okay, so I'm going to take the dish my mother made. So take made. Okay, not identical but looks similar because of this, the vowel. Okay, the vowel sound is identical but not the consonant. Okay, so this is an example of half rhyme, or you can take example of another look and luck. Now here what do you find is look, luck. I'm using 2 words that rhyme in terms of consonants. K, look. See, the beginning, and but most importantly, you need to look at the end word. Okay, the ending consonant is k, look, luck. Okay, but what is different is the vowel. Okay, the vowel here is not in rhyme with the vowel sound here. Okay, so here what rhymes is the consonant. Okay, so we will look more at this one, the end consonant. Okay, clear? So this is an example of half rhyme. Okay, look at the slide. 30 minutes. Okay. Look and luck. Okay, I just told you. Simile. So I told you simile and metaphors are tools used for comparison. Okay, it's quite simple. You only need to understand how the comparison is made. Okay, so that you understand how simile is different from metaphor. So it is a literary device, or you can, here in this context you can write poetic device, okay, which is used to compare two different things having a common quality using like or as. See, comparison is made, but with the help of words like or as. For example, my fingers are like eyes. See, when like in winter, right, when the weather is very cold, okay, and if it's snowing, you feel like your fingers have become chill, right? It's like ice, kind of frozen. You feel so cold. So there you can compare your fingers to ice. So my fingers are like ice. So you are, see, finger and ice are two different things, isn't it? Are fingers, or do fingers and eyes share any common property? See, they are different things, isn't it? But we compare fingers to eyes, okay, in order to, you can say, kind of convey the message to the readers that it's very, very cold. In order to say that, see, otherwise you can just say, my fingers have become very cold. So there's no poetic element here, isn't it? But when you write like, my fingers are like ice, you have created that atmosphere. You have created that kind of, you are showing that attitude in a way, right? My fingers are like ice, you are compared. So the readers imagine, oh, it must be very, very cold. Okay. She is as beautiful as a red rose. See, the girl is compared to a red rose. The beauty of the red rose, the beauty of the girl, right? She is as beautiful as a red rose. So in the first example, the comparison is made using like. In the second one, using as. She is as beautiful as a red rose. He fought like a lion in the battle. So the way he fought in the battle is like a lion. It's compared. So this particular line, see, he fought like a lion in the battle, I took from one of your textbook. Okay, in English textbook, I remember from earlier, so I don't remember class 9 or 10, right? He fought like a lion in the battle. This is one example given there. Life is like a dream. Okay, so life is compared to a dream, but using like. Okay. Okay, so if I think it's clear, let's move to the metaphor part. It is a literary device. Again, see, like you can write poetic device, which is used to compare two different things by saying that one thing is another. Now, what you need to remember is, unlike simile, where you compare two things by using like or as, here the comparison is directly implied. You don't use the word like or as, but you just say that one thing is the other or one thing is another. Okay? So, two different things are treated as one. For example, okay, I am using the same example. Okay, see, my fingers are like eyes, if it's a simile. So if I have written my fingers are like eyes, then it's a simile. Or if I say my fingers are as cold as ice, right? Simile. But here what I have written, my fingers are ice, the comparison is directly implied. Okay, I am telling that my fingers are ice, that one thing is another, right? My fingers are ice. Though there is comparison, but this is a direct one, directly implied, not using like or as. My fingers are ice. She is a beautiful red rose. I have not written like she is as beautiful as a red rose. So, you can easily identify a metaphor from simile. In simile, we make use of words like or as. But in metaphor, we use words like is or are. Okay, she is this. Okay, we are this. The comparison is directly implied. He was a lion in the battle. Okay, life is a dream. Okay, just before, like in the previous session, Getin Sagela in a way reminded you of so many nursery rhymes. Okay, so this particular example, if I remember, like life is, when I was writing this, life is a dream, life is like a dream. What nursery rhyme I could think of is the famous row, row, right? Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream, right? Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. See, stream and dream, they rhyme, isn't it? Row, row, row your boat. Boat and merrily, they don't rhyme, but then, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Stream and dream, they rhyme. So, in order to tell you, because the rhyme can be, you can say the poets can choose different patterns of rhyme. So, you will learn about this later on. That is called a particular rhyme scheme, right? A, B, B, or A, B, or A, B, B, A. So, there can be different pattern. Okay. So, I just remember like this, life is like a dream or life is a dream. Okay. In the nursery rhyme, row, row, row your boat, the final line is life is but a dream, right? So, again see, there is a comparison in a way. What life is just a dream. Okay. So, I think so we are done with the 3 literary devices or 3 poetic devices that I wanted to discuss with you today, and maybe in a later session we will learn. Okay. Just now you just had a kind of had an idea about how you can make use of this, right, with other examples. So, you can also try on your own. Okay, how you can make use of these devices. Okay. So, if not a whole, you can say poetry piece, you can try in one stanza. If you can fit in a simile, if you can fit in a metaphor, or if you can make a stanza with rhyming words. Okay. You can just try that. Okay. And we will see you again tomorrow. All the best.